There we go. All right.
There
Today,
you go.
super excited to talk about this topic today. We've titled this Bad Actors and fat loss in women over 50, why it's so hard to lose fat after 50. And it's biological reasons, believe it or not. And two of the hormones that play the biggest part in that, that's what we want to talk about today. The first one is insulin. And everyone's heard of insulin, I'm sure. It's a master hormone, and it helps get the nutrients and the hormones to our organs and where they're supposed to go. And it helps to get it to our storage depots in the body, if you will, where our body stores fat. So that's what insulin largely does. And I want to talk about a couple things I learned that I didn't realize what insulin does. Insulin is really a good hormone for us.
Mhm.
We need it. We have to have it. Our body
Yes.
makes it. It helps to promote growth and repair, and it also helps with wound healing, and it just helps with protecting our muscles against breakdown, which I didn't realize that. And so I thought, well, that's another good thing. The problem is the standard American diet, the SAD diet, insulin is so high in many people because they're eating these ultra processed foods. They're eating a lot of carbs that don't serve you. And carbs are in different camps. I mean, we've got the veggie carbs, and then you
Mhm.
have the starchy carbs, and then you have the carbs that are ultra processed and a lot of foods and a lot of mainstay diets today, a lot of convenience foods, processed, like I said. So that's the problem. It's causing, we're eating too much and it's excess. Lori, what did you want to say about that? I know you.
No, I was just, wanted to revisit ultra processed and what that actually means because most foods that, I mean, you take a tomato off of the plant and you make it into tomato paste, that's processed,
Yes.
but it's
Mhm.
still a tomato. Whereas ultra processed foods, it's really not at its original state. It's
Right.
combined with other things. It's highly palatable and you eat more of it and you want more of it. So, think of a bag of Doritos. You
Mhm.
could eat almost the entire bag of Doritos and still be like, okay, let's go for a burger.
Yeah,
Right?
I'm
I mean,
full.
it's engineered to make you want to eat more.
Yep.
When you eat whole real food, that tends to not happen. You're not going to eat a whole bag of broccoli and think you're going to eat another whole bag of broccoli or a bag,
Mhm.
half of a chicken, and you're
Um,
not going to be hungry for another half a chicken.
right,
So
right, 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 right.
it's just making that distinction, and also this distinction on those carbs too. I mean, like,
Mhm.
yes, vegetables have carbohydrates. There are ones that are better for your blood, your insulin levels, and ones that aren't as good for your insulin levels. And that's what Kim's going to touch more on insulin.
Yeah, so typically, after you eat a meal, your insulin does spike a little bit, but depends what you eat too, because you can eat foods that are low glycemic, we call them, that will not spike your blood sugar that much. If you eat high glycemic foods, like, and that the glycemic index is, oh my gosh, now I'm gonna remember. I think it's 0 to 50, is it?
I,
Where
I think so.
50-ish,
Mhm.
low glycemic, and then there's a middle range like 50 to 70, and over or 75, and over that is high glycemic.
Mhm.
Really spikes your blood sugar. So I try to eat. I do eat a low glycemic lifestyle because I know about that. It also too. So when you eat a high, when you don't, and then the other thing is eating like before you're hungry again, keep or grazing even. That keeps your blood sugar levels high. It doesn't let your blood sugar calm down until the next meal, till you're really hungry and it's time to eat again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It should be like a rolling hill. I mean,
Yes.
yes, it's going to spike up a little bit. Your body does a good job of putting insulin out into the body to make that come back down. And that's what should happen. It's just those big mountains and low valleys that we want to try to avoid, more of a rolling hill.
Right.
Uh, and that's what and the only way to know that is to track it. So,
Well, and
and
I
you
used
just
to,
can't see it happening,
right, right, right,
right?
right. I
Yeah.
used to get hangry. I was sharing this with Lori earlier. I used to be hangry, like I would need something to eat, like just a little something. And then I got it, and then I would be okay. But then like an hour or two later, I would be hangry again because I didn't get enough to eat. Wasn't eating the right stuff. So anyway, I think that was interesting. But what insulin does when you have too high of insulin, it inhibits the release of your fat storage. So
Keeps
there's
it in
that.
there.
Yeah, keeps it in there.
Doesn't release it out for our body to take care of it. So,
Right. And so it's significantly harder to burn body fat when it can't be released. So those are really kind of significant reasons why women especially, I think, have a harder time. Stress plays a big role as well, and increase your insulin. As we get older, even after we hit 50, our insulin, we tend to get insulin resistance when you go through menopause. So you're already dealing with that. So we got to work a little harder to not have that insulin go up. So that's why we're going to I have a list of things you can do too to help mitigate that. So chronic high insulin also affects other hormones. The optimal function of other hormones. That's our appetite hormones, which we're going to get into next. Our sleep hormones, our sex hormones, our stress hormones. And so it's important that's another reason it helps to rein in insulin. So the hormone we want to talk about is leptin. You've heard of it, but it's our satiety hormone. It tells us when we're full. And many times that will get out of whack when our insulin levels are too high. And because leptin regulates our appetite, and some people cannot quench their appetite. And I've read about them, but it could be, I was reading this about obese women tend to have that where they can't stop from eating. I don't know if, Laura, you know anybody or.
I don't personally know anyone, no.
Okay. Yeah. So, and that affects our metabolism, it affects everything. So, just high leptin results in overeating and obesity. So I think controlling insulin will help you control leptin, which is
Right.
Um,
Right. You did mention that insulin is what helps us with fat stores. And so if we're storing more fat, then we're going to increase our level of leptin in our body because it's produced in our fat cells.
Right.
And so what can happen then is we create, there's insulin resistance, which a lot of people have heard of. You can also have leptin resistance. So the signal to the brain is not happening. The brain is not hearing that you're full. And so you're continuing to increase your hunger. Your cravings are continuing. Your metabolism kind of tanks and you don't have as much energy. It makes all kinds of sense. And I'm sure there's a lot of over 50 ladies that are like, yep, that's me. I'm hearing you. So, what can we do? Or how do we know that these things are happening in our body? Well, you're doing all the right things, right? If you're getting good sleep, if you're eating whole foods, if you're resistance training, not being a cardio bunny like we used to be, and you're still having problems with that, you might want to look into perhaps having either insulin resistance in conjunction with leptin resistance.
Yeah, so you can get your levels tested and insulin levels, your glucose levels tested to see. And like Lori said, eating whole foods, but really you want to eat a whole foods in a low glycemic lifestyle.
Yeah.
I know I have a happy hormone food list I give out to people. It's in my bio on Instagram if you want to grab that free, download that. But it's all low glycemic foods basically. But I call it the happy hormone food list because it makes your hormones happy. They like those foods. But exercise resistance training is huge. Prioritizing sleep, getting enough sleep, reducing your stress levels in any way you can. That can be, meditation, yoga,
Exercise.
exercise too. What calms you down? Walking.
Right.
Walking every day is a big one. Eat magnesium-rich foods and or supplement with magnesium. I take my magnesium glycinate every night for me to help me sleep.
Same.
Okay. Yep. And also getting plenty of omega-3s, omega-3 fatty acids. Think of the smash fish, the sardines, mackerel, anchovies, salmon, and herring. Those are like the highest ones in omega-3s. And just and extra virgin olive oil, those are great, healthy omega-3s. Yeah, and taking care of your brain in the way that the calming part of your brain, calming you down. So those are ways that you can help with reducing insulin. So insulin's the master hormone. Leptin's under that umbrella of with the not feeling satisfied with what you're eating. So once you get the insulin under control too, you can get the leptin under control. So hope this was helpful, because I don't think we talk about this much. It's just people think, oh, I just reduced my calories.
Right. I got to stop eating as much.
Right.
It depends on what that is, though. If you're eating a high glycemic diet or lots of highly processed foods, then yes,